welcome back to another episode of The Common Theory. As always, I'm your host, Gatorbait, along with my man, Pu- Puzzlebox. we, uh, guys, we have been kind of on a short hiatus, and yeah, it is what it is, but we are here to explain that to you guys. And yeah, so Puzzle, start us off, my bro. How have you not been good?
Yeah, we've both been struggling, that's for sure. I know you had a cough for a solid 2 weeks, and then I'm assuming the same thing. Like the day after you were like, bro, I can finally record. I was like, I I can't. My voice is gone. So that was a trip. We lost like 4 weeks to that garbage. Not to mention school started back up again. So I've got school and work and all that fun stuff. Life's been life. But what about you? What have you been up to?
Oh man, as you can see behind me, of course, the holidays, me and the family spent a lot of time in the holidays. I got sick, the wife got sick. And yeah, it was one thing after another. And yeah, I switched, which maybe you guys don't notice, but I switched everything around in here. Everything used to be over there and here. I got a whole new layout in here. I might actually get rid of all the stuff in the back. And super excited. So we got actually a lot of things in the works, and so it helped me and Puzzle kind of lay out a few things and a few aspects for you guys. And really, what I'm actually incredibly excited about is that we have so many tournaments coming up this year, and I'm ready to talk about them. Like, we haven't had any yet, but oh man, once they start rolling through, I am ready. I can't wait to talk about them. I can't wait to, I mean, yeah, all the above. So I'm excited. I'm pumped to go. And there's been so many new decks in the meta. So, well, before I transition, so I'm all over the place, you guys. I'm excited to be back. It's just kind of one of those things. But, you know, what do you got for me, man? Like, it's been a little bit. Anything else you got in the works? Any new decks, maybe, or what do you got? What do you
I
got for
mean,
us?
I haven't been horrendously active in the CPDH realm recently, to be completely honest. I know.
What? What? What?
Um,
What? What are you
I've
doing, bro? What are you doing?
I've played some games here and there, but I've got a Yu-Gi-Oh regional coming up, and I've been prepping for that. I'm a heathen, and it happens to be on the same day as the Common Cause tournament, so I won't be able to play in that. But that gives me the perspective of a completely bipartisan observer of the event, which will be interesting to take a look at the event afterwards, which will be pretty exciting from my perspective, I think.
I agree. I agree. But with what you just said, and one thing I'm actually really excited to talk about is I've been following along a lot with the meta and a lot of what things have been changing. And we've had a lot of weird things going on. And before we actually even get into that as a whole, you guys, we're excited. We're kind of jumping all over the place. I have the hiccups. If you didn't notice, 10 seconds ago, I'm hopping up and down in my throat, but it is what it is. But there's so many things happening in the meta currently, and it's so exciting. And it's been a couple months now, and wow, there's been shifts, there's been changes, and this next tournament, I don't think like it's no holds bar, right? Like this is like WrestleMania, as awkward as that is of a statement. Like people are throwing down, slamming down, bringing new brews, bringing new things. And you said you weren't really in the meta right now. The few games you've played, anything kind of stand out to you at all, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've played like 5 or 6 games in the last like 3 weeks, I think, and I've played a small variety. I won't call it a real variety. I've played like Gretchen and Scholar and like one game of Dargo Kedis. And I did not see much combo in the games that I was playing, which was interesting. I saw a little bit of Ultron, a little bit of Control, but I saw a good amount of aggro and mid range, which, you know, it's not tournament play, so who knows what actual tournament play will look like. But the open meta was definitely a lot of interesting decks that I was not quite expecting, to say the least.
Well, what's exciting about that, there's positive and negatives about everything, right? Like we could always say that. But there's a lot of experimental things going on right now, right? Like we're in that little bit of a hiatus between tournaments and holidays and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what we are touching on today. It's going to be a short video. We're just kind of saying hi, you guys, we're back and whatnot. But we're going to touch on one quick little subject. There was one deck specifically that even in puzzle short amount of games that they have played, and then me kind of keeping up with the meta, there has been a lot of one specific commander, and that is Sir Conrad. And that's kind of what we're going to kind of tackle today and kind of talk about as a whole. Like, what are your thoughts on that deck puzzle? Like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of just popped up. It's kind of all over the place, and I'm not going to say I haven't influenced a little bit because I have spoken with people about it and certain individuals, but it's been winning games, and it has been, I don't want to say smashing people in, but I've seen two polar opposites. It's been just thrashing the table, or the table has decided to get it off of the table because it's there.
Yeah.
So,
Um, Sir Conrad is, like you mentioned, definitely popping up more. I think it was in like at least half of the games I played, with different pilots, which is stand out to me because Sir Conrad is a deck that has been in the format for a while. Historically, Clay has played it with his Rats build.
yep.
And I actually tried to play Conrad. Uh, I want to
After
say
RIW,
yeah, I want to say
July.
6 months ago. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, it was right after RIW where I was like, someone played it there, I think, and I was like, I really think this deck has something. And my build sucked. It was awful. Um,
Yeah.
it was so bad. And I was like, never mind, this commander sucks. No, my build sucked, but I still think the commander's strong just inherently. It has a
Yep.
little bit of that like Gretchen, that is it guild mage, that Viscopa guild mage aspect on it, right? Where it has an activated ability that actually impacts the game somewhat. It's not through card advantage or combo like some of those others, but just incremental damage from that activated ability can win games. Especially if you're in a more mid-rangey, aggressive meta, which, from what I've seen from open play, is kind of where it's leaning at the moment. Once again, tournament play, who knows? Everyone can revert to Malcolm Kedis Turbo. But especially in metas where more damage is being thrown around, I think it's a very interesting commander. Taking advantage of decks that are running a lot of board wipes. Sir Conrad can just nuke people if there's a board wipe. It absolutely punishes people for casting Breath Weapon. Um, so he's definitely a commander that I still see as having a lot of potential at bare minimum.
Well, it's weird, right? Because like it has potential, but Mystic Sanctuary, right? That's kind of like one of the few cards that's in many decks. I don't want to call it ubiquitous, but it's in, for the most part, most blue decks. And it interrupts that.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
interrupts Tatiova. It interrupts a lot of different cards of the format and decks of the format. So it has this just awkward activated ability, like you said. Like some of the strongest commanders we have this ability that's just like you know what? Before I finish that statement, let me hit you with this. You're right. Sir Conrad's ability is kind of awkward, right? Because it doesn't look like it's that impactful. But it really is. It doesn't read as beautiful as Gretchen, let's be honest. You get to draw a card, put a land, but this is like mill one card, but it's all players. And then you never know if it's 4 damage or
0
one
to 4
damage, right?
damage. Who
Right? It's
knows?
just like roll the dice, right? But then if your deck is configured to it, right, you're always going to feel like it's one. And anything past one is great. So it's just one of those great cards. It's just a dump. And we don't have many of those in our format. And I have been very impressed with the builds. And, to say a few of the pilots, if I could throw a couple names out there at you, Clay is one of the main pilots of it, specifically with his no longer rat build. He's still playing the rat build, which is, don't scoff at that one. If you decide to laugh at that variant, you're probably going to lose against it. Those are my 2 cents. But the other version is, yeah, he's kicking ass with it to say the least. And then another pilot that's been on and off with it has been Aggro Aaron, which is very different for someone by the name of Aggro Aaron, right? So, and they've been on and off with the deck. I think they're like 50-50 with it at this point. But even at that, there's still more pilots. We have a bunch more players in the meta that are piloting this deck. And yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great. Uh, I don't like seeing 50 players playing Pestilence. Um, but
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're still choosing to play a 5 mana mono black commander, right? Um,
yep.
so he's still got his downsides, to say the least.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. And guys, don't think we're praising Sir Conrad and saying it's unbeatable. Puzzle said it himself just now. It's 5 mana, guys. If you're just taking this card off the table, realize what you're doing, right? Like you might need Sir Conrad in a game to help you wither down a different player at the table. So look at the board, look at the, you know, who's there, and go from there.
Yeah,
But
I mean, countering Konrad feels awful for the Konrad player, but and he's still kind of got like that Dargo Kedis energy where he hurts everyone indiscriminately,
yep,
um, which definitely draws a bit of extra hate, just because everyone has to take their life total into consideration. It's not like uh, Dargo Kelith, where you're killing one person, and that person generally knows that they're your target. And so everyone
yep.
else is like, "Yeah, you get him. I'll even protect your Dargo, man. Like, awesome." Um,
Yep,
whereas here, everyone is scared of Sir Conrad to some extent, right? So, uh,
yep,
there is some of that aspect. But
yep.
if a deck is strong enough to take on the hate, go for it. He's a black creature, which means he's immune to snuff out and cards of that nature,
Yes.
which is worth something. And I think
Yep.
generally black decks in the format should obviously absolutely be playing snuff out. But personally, I've been a fan of Vendetta for a long time in the format, and a lot of those other non-black removals. because black creatures are generally not a real threat in our format. So non-black removal generally works pretty well, unless you're like really scared of mid-range creatures.
Yep. I mean, with all that said, I'd like to end it there. I mean, we're doing a little short one with you guys. I got a few little caveats for you guys, and I know Puzzle does as well. But we're just kind of make this, we're back. You guys understand we did not leave. We're still here. I was sick. He was sick. Everybody was what it was. But Puzzle kind of alluded to some of the things we were talking about there, just like decks we're going to talk about and other little aspects like that. I'm not going to get into all the nitty gritties, but we're going to be kind of deep diving in a lot more than you guys are expecting. Also, too, we're going to be covering these tournaments. We're going to be doing our best to get every tournament winner on the channel, talking about their deck, talking about their ideas. We're going to be just hammering home with all the most competitive things you guys have to imagine. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I mean, my man, what else you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, I know you said you're not going to be able to make it to the Common Cause tournament, and obviously, like I said, neither am I.
Yeah.
So that means that guaranteed we'll have someone to bring on, at least as a
Yes.
target. It's not going to be one of us that wins the event, so definitely watch for that one, you guys. Um,
Yes. Definitely.
Hopefully, we can play in other events, but this first one, we're gonna see how it turns out, and we're definitely gonna try to get him on. So,
Yep. Yep. I'm excited. I'm so pumped for all these events that we're having. There's been some a big influx of players this year. I've been um kind of, I don't know the word, excited, kind of really happy that I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of these new players that have entered the format of this year and really have great discussions with a lot of them and things of that nature. And I'm very excited to see how the format continues to pan out this year.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
let's see
And
what happens.
if I haven't met you since I've been relatively absent this last month, be sure to ping me in any of the servers or message me or join our Patreon, join our Discord, and we will get some games in. We could have some conversations. Can't wait to meet all of you guys. But
And
yeah,
yes, and for the record, shout out to our own freaking Discord. We've been playing games in the Discord kind of on the back burner when we've had the ability to. And yeah, it's been nice, you guys. Like, we've kind of been coughing our lungs out and we don't really feel comfortable going on different Discords because one of us is sick or could barely talk. And, you know, the few people that we've had the ability to do that with have been very understanding and stuff like that. So,
yeah, for sure.
it's been fantastic. So, thank you guys for letting us be here with you and part of the community and just excited. I can't say it enough. Excited to be back. And I know my man Puzzle is too. So
Yeah, I'll go ahead and close this out then. Thank you guys for watching today. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below. Comment any thoughts you have on what you want to hear from us talking about over these next few weeks. And subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see y'all next time.